Happy 2023! Since the last video, I spent a lot of time thinking about old games from years past, and I think that the YouTube algorithm has been picking up on this, since it's been constantly recommending me videos of the Simpsons Hit and Run remastered. Specifically, this fan project by Gato del TEJADO. Now, I apologise if I have butchered that. This is some seriously impressive stuff. It's going a lot further than just your typical bug fixes or retexturing, or even just by making the game widescreen. No. Elgato is learning how to animate so they can remake the game's original cutscenes in the television show style. So this gave me the itch. It's high time I revisited the Simpsons Hit and Run, aka America's former favourite animated families take on the GTA formula. I remember having a good time with this as a kid, and it's been about 20 years since I last had a whirl, so what could possibly go wrong? My first impressions are, well, cute. The game has retained the charm of the Simpsons' first decade or so, with an all-star cast from the show, tons of little Easter eggs and references, along with a decent representation of Springfield. Walking around as Homer is okay, if not a little awkward when jumping, but overall it's appealing enough at first glance to make me overlook these immediate shortcomings. The plot is zany enough to be out of the show itself. While Krusty shills for fizzy drinks on television, a funny wasp spies on Homer, who, as a relatable slave to capitalism, gets a craving for some cola. What follows is an enjoyable romp all around the suburbs in a quest to get some buzz that leads us all over town. Homer has to go to the school to drop off supplies for Lisa, beat Mr. Smithers to work, and cause a lot of destruction. The driving controls leave a lot to be desired, but this starter car, the iconic pink sedan, is at least forgiving enough to get you through the opening area. Thing is, as a kid, I don't actually remember anything past the second level where you play as Bart. I can't exactly recall why I stopped playing, but it was probably because, if I'm honest, I got distracted by, I don't know, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater or something. I have a lot of hours in Pro Skater 4. A concerning amount of hours in Pro Skater 4. Speaking of that second level, it's in downtown Springfield with Bart in the Honor Roller. Damn, that's a stretch. They didn't just want to give him the original soapbox derby car? No? Wasn't that the whole point of that episode? That Homer didn't want Bart in a car they didn't build together? Oh, whatever. Bart's levels are, well, I mean, they're not bad, but not good either. Most of them are just reruns of concepts from Homer's level. Damn, instead of 10 seasons, this time it only took 2 levels. One of the game's main mechanics comes heavily into play here, the titular hit and run. In that bottom corner there is a damage meter. Simply put, the more that you crash into people, vehicles, property and landmarks, the more that goes up. Once it goes all the way up, kablamo, here comes the fuzz. If they catch you, it's a 50 coin fine and a position reset, which in a game that's based around crashing and collisions is a bit frustrating. Ultimately, the level again though is just fine. Again, I just want to reiterate that as a kid, I don't remember playing anything past the Bart levels. To me, it was kind of like a dumb sandbox where I just drove around and maybe did a mission or two, but it was more about the experience of being in Springfield. I did the same thing with GTA San Andreas. I used to find this one particular jump in the countryside area, and I would just do it over and over and over again, which in hindsight explains a lot. The level starts getting annoying around the halfway point, with this section where we are joined by Comic Book Guy. Besides the characters repeating the same few phrases until the end of time, the mission itself, a race, requires insanely tight timing. One mistake and you may as well restart, and given that this game does not perform well at all, with frequent frame drops, crashing becomes a frequent occurrence. Atop that, the game expects you to know all of the shortcuts in the map because, get this, the opponent's car is faster than yours and it will rarely screw up. This is a game made for children, but the difficulty is something else. I'm hesitant to call it hard like a retro platformer, because if I'm brutally honest, half the challenge here is coming from the game performing like utter crap. After many, many attempts, I managed to get it done, and my reward was comic book guy glitching into this NPC. Ho hum. Also, yes, comment section. I'm very well aware that if I tie my hair back, I bear an uncanny resemblance. Please be assured I have no interest in your mother. Or your grandmother. It's just weird. After some more literal fetch quests and several car destruction missions, Bart gets abducted by aliens. No, really, he gets straight up nabbed off the street like he's on Pinochet's watch list, setting up the next stage in which Lisa goes in search of her brother. It's about here that you realise something. This game is utter bollocks. Lisa's level starts out somewhat okay, but devolve rapidly into pixel-perfect nonsense, and then, to add insult to injury, repeated padding by forcing you to buy outfits and cars. I spent about 2 hours in this area, and about 2/3 of that time was just me driving around trying to get more coins. I could try one of these side missions, but they take just as long as a regular mission or just crashing into things to get coins, so smashy time, I guess. It's a bad level, compounded with bad design, poor optimization, and the final part to find Bart is intentionally misleading in the hopes that it'll just make you screw up and make you do all over again. Sadly, this is the trend going forward. Marge is up now, and she's trying to work out why Bart's brain is scrambled after his disappearance. This section takes place in the same area as Homer's level, just now at night, and for the most part it isn't too awful until about the halfway point when, after making you buy not one, but 2 outfits and a car, you have this awkward on-foot section. This game does not control great in a vehicle. Why now, at the actual halfway point of this game, are we changing to traditional platforming? Sure, the missions advance the plot, there's something about Grandpa seeing aliens on his meds or something, I don't friggin' know, but I'm getting annoyed at this point, and the game is just becoming a chore. It doesn't help that so many missions here are just vehicle destruction missions, and they got old after the first one. By the way, it's the soft drink. It's the cola that Homer was drinking at the start. It's an alien plot to overthrow humanity. That's it. That's the whole story explained at the game's halfway point. The next level is back downtown as Apu, torn with guilt after discovering he is selling mind control pop, which is a bit out of character since he once got caught selling a floor hot dog. At this point, the shit has already hit the fan, and now it's just flinging poop pellets at everything in the room, with levels that require stupidly good timing, perfect route planning, certain expensive vehicles, and outfits that you have to waste time grinding for. And then there's this trash collection mission that honestly made me debate pressing that ever so tempting skip button right there, but I won't, because skipping is for professional game journalists, and let me tell you, I am not getting paid for this shit. I guess that the lesson is never try. It's not that you just have barely enough time to collect all the cans, it's that you then had to get your butt all the way back across town to the DMV in what little time you have left. So to recap, it's already barely enough time to grab this crap, and then you have to go back to where you came from without crashing, with the game's RNG cutting you a break and spawning fast vehicles, and then taking the most optimal route possible. It's just far too much, and I have to repeat my point from earlier. This was a game made for children. Children! What brat is putting up with this? Okay. Dialing it back a little bit here. Let's kind of reel back the vitriol, because this is not the hardest game ever made, not by a long shot, and nor is it the worst game ever made. I can think of a few other candidates for that category. The problem here is that there's so many random little factors completely outside of your control that you're reliant on going your way to get a perfect, sweet run. Oh, hey, Bart again, and oh, Gang and Kodos are finally here. Neat. Can we just, okay, yeah, level 6, and boy howdy, it's the worst one yet. Nearly all of these missions require perfect times and routes for a start, but the biggest kick in the teeth is the starting sports car. Sure, it's fast, and it actually handles well, but it's more fragile than Hideki Kamiya's ego. I spent 2 hours here, repeating the same sections over and over again, praying that I get things just right enough to squeeze through, and it's not like there's just one bit I can point to as the worst, as it's all full of nonsense, like this corner right here. You have to pray that there's not a car coming the other way, otherwise, whoopsie, start over, baby man. And that's before the bugs rear their ugly heads. There's a mission that after collecting 25 items, you have to race back across town to Krusty Lou Studios, and yet again, you're fighting the clock, which is bad enough, but then this happened.
You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half. And now. Oh.
I have nothing. I have nothing but unbridled rage! Come here, clown! Oddly enough, there's a story that when Matt Groening came to the developer studio to give the game his seal of approval, for whatever that's worth, he ignored all of the missions and instead, as Homer, kicked Marge down the street. Well, I suppose that's better than accepting dodgy foot rubs. Before that gets any darker, here's the final level. And hey, I said less dark, not a full-on zombie apocalypse. It turns out that today is Halloween, and that the aliens' evil plan was to raise the dead. Where have I heard that before? This is, yet again, in the residential part of town, and again, we're playing as Homer. At least the level's theme is cool. I'm really digging the horror vibes, but my god, this isn't the most bullshit gauntlet of busy work yet. It's got the works. Bad performance, terrible time limits, and oh yes, we can't forget about the platforming. How could we? Christ on a bike. All this whole sorry affair boils down to is Homer obtaining nuclear waste through dodgy memes and tricking the aliens into abducting cars strapped with green goop. Of course, this is easier said than done, but the first two, with Professor Franken-Snake, are straightforward enough compared to the final one. And oh my god, it also happens to be the final mission of the game, which you have to get Grandpa in his custom World War II Jeep powered by a missile and pray. This segment of the game is infamous on the internet and regarded by fans as the hardest part of an already challenging title, and I can confirm that the reputation is deserved. Regularly, I'd get to the halfway point, losing my tail, and then I'd run afoul of the law and just not make it to the mothership in time. It took me an hour and a half of nonsense, including this hilarious sequence right here, just to get to this point of stage 7. It would take me another hour and a half to finally do it. God knows how I did it. I don't care at this point. I just want this game out of my life and far, far away from me. Clearly, there was a lot of love and care put into recreating Springfield, its characters, and particularly in the direction of that original voice cast from the show. But right about there is where the care and love stopped. I'll be real, it takes an awful lot to get me frustrated at a video game. I have an unusually high tolerance for bad games. That said, this one was getting there. This was starting to get me real close to the fucking edge. To summarise, sure, as a kid, I had fun with this, but I also realise now that my ADHD-riddled bum only played the first 2 areas, got stuck, and then drove around for hours until I started playing something else. Just like the show itself, going in past the first few areas has it massively overstay its welcome, and it just goes from endearing to wince-inducing. And this time, we did it without a pants Ricky Gervais episode. Good night!